Hi, I'm Caitlin and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm also a junior.
My name's Katie Abbott and I'm in 9th grade.
My name's Meg Dempsey and I'm in 9th grade.
Hi, I'm Hadley Noonan and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Ursula Volmer. I'm also a senior.
I think I've listened to her since Fearless. Teardrops on My Guitar was definitely the first song that I ever heard. I think we were still pretty young when she was getting started.
One of my first songs that I've ever heard from her was Mean, and I love that song forever.
I've been listening to her ever since I was 6. My first concert that I went to was her Speak Now World Tour.
Yeah, probably the same age. I went to the 1989 concert, my first concert.
I first became aware of Taylor Swift because of I have older cousins, and they bought a CD that my grandma kept in her car. We would always listen to the CD, and I loved it. And then I kind of fell out of it a little bit. Didn't listen to a lot of Taylor Swift, and then more recently I kind of got back into it.
So I really started listening to Taylor Swift around when I Knew You Were Trouble came out, because we used to have a elementary school talent show and back in my old school, and that was a song that was literally the song was used every single performance. So that's when I really started listening to it, and then of course with Shake It Off I got super into it, and I've been listening to her ever since.
I personally love how her music has changed over the years. I feel like it's really amazing to stick all the different genres she can do.
Yeah, I think she gets a lot of hate for becoming more of a pop artist than she was originally country. But I just think it shows how diverse she is as an artist, whereas pretty much every other artist sticks to their genre, and she can kind of mix throughout her albums.
I'm a pretty big fan of her more pop albums, 1989 and has always been my favorite album, but I find that with the changing times with the pandemic and everything, the way that she was able to go from super pop to more indie alternative was really cool, and kind of fit more of the mood of this whole weird year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of cool because even though kind of each album is its own era, and it's always sort of a different vibe and a different feeling, you can always kind of trace parts of the song back to other albums and particular songs. So sometimes I think people think it's really separate and kind of individual, but they all kind of to me seem kind of interwoven. So I don't know, sometimes I feel it is just one continued album that's just kind of augmented, but I do think that the different changes and kind of she started out more on the countryside, or it's kind of cool to listen to, and she's really been able to kind of conquer a lot of different sides of music.
I love all of them. I think she definitely had a different sound when she was a country artist and when she was younger, because obviously her voice was a lot higher. But I love her as a pop artist.
I like all of them. It kind of just depends on the song, I guess, or the album.
I like all her genres. I like her, I think either her newer albums or the pop albums.
Probably, yeah.
I have listened to Evermore and Folklore, and I loved them both. I think everyone was really surprised that they came out so close together, especially during this pandemic. But I think that's where she really thrived. And I really like the songs Willow, I love No Body, No Crime, I love Ivy, and I love Happiness as well.
Yes, as well as Charlotte, I really enjoyed Folklore and Evermore. I was definitely shocked when I found out she released them as a surprise. That was a really special surprise, honestly. And I would have to say my favorite songs from Folklore are Betty, Epiphany, and Exile. And my favorite songs from Evermore are Happiness, Ivy, and Gold Rush.
We both listened to both. On Evermore, my favorite songs are probably Champagne Problems and Gold Rush, and then Folklore, Cardigan, and Betty.
Evermore, I like Marjorie, Coney Island, and Champagne Problems, and for Folklore, I like Elizabeth Fair's Betty in August.
Well, I've listened to both extensively, and favorite songs, I don't know, on Folklore probably I like Betty, and I like This Is Me Trying. On Evermore, I like Gold Rush, Tolerate It, Champagne. I like all of them.
I think it's pretty impressive as an artist to change your style of music and reinvent yourself so many times, like, and still be as successful as she is.
Yeah, from like country to like
Pop, and now
yeah.
like she's more into like
I don't know.
alternative music, I think.
Yeah.